Alright, so today we're going to showcase and talk about Spirit Dive YUNO, the global half anniversary festival that's dropping on a global version in about 3 weeks time-ish. And unfortunately, I know a lot of you guys are not going to like hearing this, but this unit is pretty cheeks, okay? Between all 4 festival units that we have on the JP and KR side, that being Black Asta, Julius, Merliona, and obviously Spirit Dive YUNO, this, unfortunately, is the quote-unquote worst and very underwhelming in comparison to the other festival counterparts. So I'll explain why later on in the video, and I'll showcase why. But real quick, let's go over to Pride Win so we can talk about what the unit is doing. And potentially for global players, this could be a big fat skip, which is very like surprising considering the fact that it's not only Spirit Dive but he is the global half Annie. So unless he gets a significant buff, which I don't think he will, like the kind of buff that he does need in my opinion is going to be pretty significant. Unfortunately, it's just I highly doubt it'll happen. But before I dive into his kit, if you are a fan of Spirit Dive just feel free to summon for him, okay? We're only showcasing you guys these units and telling you about these units and whether or not they're good or bad for those who do want to keep up with the meta. So if you are a fan of Spirit Dive, obviously summon for him, okay? But I just want to let y'all know that because I know some people in the comment section be like, well, if I'm a fan of Spirit Dive, I'm just going to summon for him. Obviously, yes, okay? So when it comes to Spirit Dive, he is going to be a green attack unit. I know that is back-to-back green festival units, which kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. So first skill is going to be inflicting a 15% reduced mobility debuff on an enemy, which is not too bad, right? Anytime you have mobility or stamina, which is really helpful in PvP. So this is not bad. I do like that. And then if you do have Spirit Dive on yourself, then you are granting a 10% increased speed buff for 1 turn, which again, not too bad, right? Second skill, it is going to be doing AoE damage, inflicting a 50% reduced mobility debuff onto an enemy. And then if you do have Spirit Dive, then inflict silence onto a chosen enemy for 1 turn, which is not bad. And then the ultimate here is going to be granting himself Spirit Dive, and then inflicting total silence onto the enemy for 2 turns, granting a 20% increased speed buff for 1 turn. And it is single target, by the way, so bear that in mind. Combined attack, it is going to be attacking after removing immortality. So I believe this is now one of, I want to say, 3 or 4 units that do have this, so that's not too bad. And then the LR passive is at the start of the battle, grant yourself Blessing of the Wind Spirit. If total silence debuff is applied to you, it automatically gets removed once per battle, which is not bad. And then Blessing of the Wind Spirit, increased damage dealt by 10%, stacking up to 5 times. So very similar mechanic to Julius, to where the ultimate is going to be increasing by 50%, stacking up to 5 times. So it's not too bad, okay? LR plus 2. So upon gaining Spirit Dive, grant yourself invulnerability for 1 turn, which is going to be, this is going to be where like one of the best parts about his kits, really helpful. And then LR plus 5 is same exact thing. And then also your Blessing of the Wind Spirit damage is increased plus 10%, which is not too shabby. So I mean, overall, right, in comparison to the other festival units, just reading his kit too, by the way, it is very lackluster, right? I know a lot of y'all may think the whole invulnerability thing is really helpful, which it really is, don't get me wrong, but at this point in time, it almost is pretty much confirmed that the brand new festival, the 1 year anniversary Noel, the Valkyrie Noel, will have invulnerability removal, which is completely countering this, right? So also for those asking when is Valkyrie Noel dropping on global, it will be after Spirit Dive releases, so it'll probably be like maybe like 2 months afterwards. But I just want to let y'all know that because I know that that is a unit that a lot of people are excited for. So again, just a very hard counter to which already is not great because his unit itself is not the best. So that is going to be and then when it comes to skill page, unfortunately, you do need a skill page, okay? Like I can't sit here and say that yeah, there is a really good alternative. You need a skill page, and for the most part you are going to want to have it, you're going to want to have it maxed out if you can, okay? So when it comes to the skill page, let me just find it real quick. Here it is. So if Spirit Dive is present on yourself, there's a 20% chance of granting a special point plus 1 buff, which is not bad. I do have my skill page, I believe, at 4 dupes, not even maxed, by the way, and it does help, okay? But yeah, with this unit, you want to be able to spam his ultimate as much as you possibly can. And then the skill 2 buff is going to be granting a barrier immunity onto the enemy for 2 turns, which is not too bad, okay? So with that being said, let's go back and let's actually take him into PvP. I was thinking about taking him to PvE, but again, I feel like a lot of people just kind of want to see him showcased in PvP. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take him on mono green. So let me get the team comp situated, and then I'll see y'all for the first match. All right, so let me go ahead and break down the team comp real quick before we dive into PvP. So this is his pretty much respective best team comp that you do want to run Spirit Dive on. Now you can, if you want to, global players, you don't have this unit yet, but I believe Destiny Vanessa should be very, very close to his release, or in fact, probably the banner after Spirit Dive, YUNO. So you can throw Destiny Vanessa on this team, which I would recommend if you want to, but again, I just want to take the units that global you do have right now. So we're going to take Spirit Dive on this team. And again, the main thing about this unit is you want to be able to spam his ultimate as much as you possibly can. So for those who have Mimosa and you picked him up from the gateway, if you do not have Mimosa at LR+2 like I have, then you definitely want to make sure that you buff up the combined attack so that we have a 100% guaranteed chance of giving a special point +3 to your partner, which is going to be Spirit Dive in this case. So that is how we're going to do the setup for today. And then obviously Charlotte, we're just going to constantly make sure that YUNO has his ultimate damn near like every 2 rotations if we can. So yeah, let's take this team. Let's go into PvP. The only thing that's bad about this YUNO is he doesn't have any kind of like immortality mechanic, which I feel like is going to be really bad. Here are his stats, by the way. 44k magic attack, which pretty lackluster, but 137% crit rate, which is somewhat decent. So yeah, let's see if we can run down in PvP and kind of go crazy with it. 242. Great example, okay? Black also Witch Queen, William, or not William, but Julius and Charlotte. But for those who have played the JP and Kara side, if you have Spirit Dive, let me know. And for global players, feel free to ask, you know, the community itself, okay? Maybe you don't want to trust me, which is fine, but I promise you, if you ask others who have used Spirit Dive, you know, chances are they will probably say the same thing as I am, and that he is quite lackluster in comparison to pretty much how the other festival units are, right? Because like festivals, they're meant to be the best of the best. They're meant to be creating brand new and many team comps, like how Black Asta, Julius, Merliona did. Even though that, you know, you only see damn near Black Asta on one team comp for the most part, they did offer a lot of variety in team comps and cool mechanics. But when it comes to Spirit Dive, it's like legit you can only run him on one team to where he is quote unquote meta. And then for PvE, he really doesn't offer anything like much, really, if you think about it, unlike, you know, Merliona, Black Asta, and Julius. So what we're gonna go do here is obviously we are gonna be giving ourselves Spirit Dive on the ultimate, so we're gonna proc that off. Let's see, damage wise, 74k, and the thing is that his damage too is very lackluster. I don't know if it's just me, and like I know my stats aren't exactly like the craziest, but I'll probably have to talk to Blaze and others. It's just like his damage, from what I've seen as well, it tends to not be as crazy as others, which is very shocking considering the fact that this unit is legit full DPS. Okay, so now we have one special point. We're gonna go and proc off Mimosa's combined attack, and then we are gonna giving 3 special points to YUNO. So by the next rotation that YUNO does come around, he's gonna have his ultimate again, and that's gonna be a pretty damn broken mechanic. So obviously his damage does take a little bit of time building up, right? And the cool thing is that because we did progress ultimate, he does gain invincibility to where the unit does not take any damage for one whole turn, which is quite nice. So now let's go and give our entire team Mana Skin, just some damage reduction, which is gonna be helpful. Black Asta, all right, we'll take that. Taking 0 damage from YUNO again. This is the only protection he has, by the way. Outside of that, the unit does not have any, and as you can see, we already have our ultimate back, which is mad helpful. So now let's go ahead and give ourselves invincibility again. So completely get rid of Julius, which is helpful in this case. 102, so the damage is starting to increase. Not too bad. And then we'll go ahead and give we'll go ahead and give you 2 more special point increase, so he's at 6. And then come around for a 3rd time, he will have his ultimate once again, which is just very nice. And again, I do have a skill page at 3 or like 4 juice or something. So again, this unit is pretty well in comparison to, I won't say he's as well as Merliona, because Merliona you do need to maxed out, but he is pretty costly. So that's back-to-back festivals that kind of take a lot of resource too, by the way. So bear that in mind, right? So we'll do that. Heals, not too shabby. All right, cool. So obviously we are taking 0 damage. So that's like, again, the best part about YUNO. We're not going to use her ultimate yet. Merliona is just here just to tank and obviously provide those shenanigans. Guaranteed taunt, I will take it. Okay, so now the only thing that I wish he did have is he only has invincibility on his for one turn. I kind of wished he did have it for like 2 turns. I think if he did have that, the unit would have been significantly better, just because then you would have been able to, you know, proc off the skill 2. Because as you can see, I have not procced off my skill 2 once yet, right? I'm just constantly relying on the ultimate, which is helpful, don't get me wrong, but it's like the skill 2 does have that 8-weight damage and the silence mechanic. So I'm gonna kind of throw here since we do have the barrier, which is gonna be good for us. And then we'll kind of see the damage here. So damage wise, how much are we doing? 38,000. I mean, again, it's not exactly the best, right? So I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about this unit. Again, if you were to get a buff, it would have to be pretty significant. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he would need a lot of buffs to make this unit like really good on par to the other festival units. Because like once he dies, right, I have no other way of getting the unit back besides having Mimosa's Res, which can take a pretty long time. Let's go to get rid of Charlotte because she can be very annoying. YUNO does have his ultimate once again, which is mad helpful. And then we'll go ahead and give the special point +2 to Mimosa, just so once Spirit Dive uses ultimate, we have the combined attack between the two, and we'll be good. Alright, so I might lose here. I mean, luckily we do have the invulnerability from the ultimate, so we're gonna ult Asta damage-wise. Yeah, 34,000. It's just not hitting as hard. The cool thing is that we do apply the silence, which is mad helpful. All right, so we'll do this. We get our ultimate back, which is helpful. I mean, again, that's like the -- thing about this unit. As like every turn, we're having our ultimate constantly, which is the good part. But outside of that, it's just I don't know. The damage wise, it does take a long time to kind of build up too. So if you're trying to play the long game, and especially with how global PvP is, it's just not worth it. You know what I mean? Because like obviously, like if Witch Queen and Black Asta, if we had real-time PvP, 100% I would have lost. 1000% I would have lost. Even to a team comp like this, which really isn't all too crazy, I would have 100% lost. And now it's like our damage is definitely kicking in because we have those, you know, 10% increase up to 5 times. But by then it just takes way too long. So let me try to find like a really good team. And see if we can take that down, because again, this team wasn't really anything too crazy. So let me find something ridiculous that we can fight. Alright, so we've got a max duped Mereoleona, max duped Black Asta, and Julius. So this should be pretty interesting. But again, let me know your thoughts on YUNO thus far, how you see me use them from the first match. Again, this is going to be one of probably like 2 ideal team comps you can run, and both are mono green, by the way. Like if you take them on any other team, it's just not worth it, because again, the unit is going to die significantly fast, and he's like the main DPS for this team, right? So like once he goes away, unless your Mereoleona is like hella built as well when it comes to damage and tank, it's like the chances of you being able to win a match it goes down significantly, right? So we'll do the same thing. We'll go and apply the damage reduction. We'll let YUNO proc his ultimate here. We are taunted, unfortunately, but it's fine. So we'll take a few burn stacks, which is all right. 43,000. We'll take that. Again, taking 0 damage, and then we'll proc the bind attack with Mimosa and YUNO. Hopefully we get rid of Julius if we can. 37,000. So the damage is slowly building up, which is not too bad. Okay, cool. So we'll tank all this stuff, which is fine. Okay, so they're actually doing very little damage, which I'll take it. Okay, so now, okay, it's ult, that's fine. I did not need that. Okay, so we don't get our ultimate yet, unless we get lucky here. Do we? We do. Nice. Okay, cool. So our ultimate is back once again. So this time around, our invulnerability is gone. So if I want to proc the skill 2, it is gone, unfortunately. Then when it comes to... So we're at 2 stacks, okay? And it can stack up to 5 times. So now we are adding 40% when it comes to Spirit of the Wind damage, which is not too bad. So we'll go ahead and see the damage here. What is it looking like? I mean, 116. That's not too bad, right? The thing is that now our invulnerability is now gone, right? So we're up for grab when it comes to damage. So if also were to be an anti-magic, which is very well possible, then the next turn, YUNO is pretty much gone, and that's a guaranteed loss because I lost my DPS. So what we'll do here is go ahead and apply the mana skin to our entire team, giving ourselves damage reduction, which is helpful. Okay, we do have our ultimate again, which is nice. So when he does come around, it's just like, now you take a look at this. Okay, so barrier, that's a really good thing too, is that he does give barrier immunity. I'm sorry, barrier, not immunity, but yeah, barrier immunity to the entire team, so they can't have any barriers, which is good for us. So give yourself vulnerability, damage flash from YUNO, 14,000, bro. 14,000. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, so we can't do anything here. Okay, we'll go and heal up ourselves, which is not bad. Again, Mimosa, if you have not picked up from the gateway, I do recommend you do, because if you are trying to summon for YUNO, then you definitely want to make sure that you can do what I'm doing, especially if you don't have her at LR+2, which I would recommend you do so. Okay, so we can't proc over skill 2, which kind of sucks here. So now we are at 4 stacks. So we're at an 80% increase when it comes to Spirit of the Wind damage. I mean, as you can see, it kind of takes a long time for his damage to build up to, which for PvP, unless you're playing like a really, really massive stall team, it's kind of unideal, right? And just like that, we're dead. Just like that, we are dead. So like, that's the thing I'm talking about. It's like, he doesn't have that, like, what's the word I'm looking for? He doesn't have that protection necessarily, right? I feel like if he did, if he has some kind of like immortality mechanic or whatnot, it's just he does not have the support that he needs. And like when he drops too, it's like the timing is very, very unfortunate. I feel like this unit would have been really good like maybe 2 months ago, even prior to Merliona's release, because like it would have been a lot better. The meta would have been as crazy, but releasing him now, it's just very unfortunate. So now what we're gonna go and do here is we'll go ahead and swap out Merliona for Destiny Vanessa, so I can kind of show you guys. Obviously Merliona is kind of ideal for this team comp, but what we're going to do here is just have constant ultimate spams, and then we'll have double invincibility from Destiny Vanessa and obviously Spirit Dive himself. So let's take this team comp and kind of see how it's working. So let me find a good team that we can fight up against, and then I think I'll go ahead and end it there. Alright, so we got a pretty much mirror match team, Mono Green versus Mono Green. They are taking Merliona and Kahono and Yami. Interesting. So let's kind of see how this works here. We should be able to win, theoretically, but who knows. So same thing, we'll apply to damage reduction, right, which is going to be helpful. And then Vanessa here, we are going to apply invincibility to Mimosa, because again, this is going to be a very clutch unit in case we do need a res. Then she is the only unit on our team to do so. So now she takes 0 damage, and then after proccing off YUNO's ultimate, that's 2 units on our team that does have invincibility. So if you want to go with this approach, you can, which is not bad. So cool, taking 0 damage. And the thing is that Destiny Vanessa does give invincibility for 2 turns, so Mimosa is pretty much protected for a decent while, which is going to be very helpful. We'll go ahead and start wearing down Yami, get rid of this unit if we can. 10k damage, I mean, not, you know, anything crazy. Alright, so he's going to be very troublesome if he does get built up. So we'll go ahead and proc our skill 2, damage wise should not be anything crazy. 100,000, I'll take that. Starting to kind of build up, which is really good, really good. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get rid of the burn stacks from Charlotte's if we can. Hopefully we do so. Cool, so burn stacks are gone. And then, unfortunately, we are not protected any longer, right? So we are starting to take that damage, which is not ideal for us, but we do have our ultimate. So if I can get YUNO to proc his ult again, then we should be good, which we can do in the next turn. Awesome. So this is like one of the best ways you can use YUNO, right? And it's kind of like restrictive because you do need Mimosa. Like if I did not have Mimosa, I would not be able to proc my ultimate pretty much every other turn, which you kind of need to do so, especially with how YUNO is designed. So that is something you do want to take into account. 65,000, okay, not too shabby. Invincibility, and then we'll go ahead and give ourselves, what is this? Blessing of the Protection. So I believe it's like we get a little bit of healing going on. Combined attack, we'll go ahead and proc this off on Charlotte to get rid of her. She's very annoying. 48,000, almost 50k. I will take that. 0 damage from Yami. So to say like the unit is bad, it does suck, right? He's not a bad unit, okay? Let me not say that. He's not a bad unit, but in comparison to the other festivals, then the unit is definitely not on par with how he should be, in my opinion. And I feel like a lot of you guys can agree upon that. So let me know your thoughts on Spirit Dive YUNO thus far. And for free to play wise, again, he is a pretty costly unit. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh yeah, you can easily get away with, you know, using the unit at LR+2, skill page at +2 dupes. You need the dupes. In order for him to be this good, and like to say this good is kind of a stretch, you're going to need him to be maxed out. So he is a little bit of a whale unit. I mean, you see now like the damage was like hella crazy there. But look how long it kind of took us, right? If they had a Black Ossa Witch Queen, easily I would have been dead. Easily, 100%. So that is something to take into account. And yeah, so I think I'll go ahead and end here though. Unless, let me find one more match because I really want to fight a mono red team. So let me find a mono red, and then I think that'll be it. All right, final match of the video, mono green versus mono red. Ideally, this is like the best thing I can showcase because mono red is still dominating global PvP. But against a team called like this, their YUNO is gonna attack my YUNO. Luckily enough, we do get to remove that from ourselves, which is helpful. So we get pushed back, which is fine. So our silence is now gone, obviously courtesy of his LR passive, which happens once per battle, by the way. It's not even like once per turn, it's once per battle. So if he does it again, then low-key I'm fried. So like if they were taking multiple units that do have silence on YUNO, then like I would not be able to use my ultimate, which is the only way I get that invincibility. So that's something you have to kind of remember. So that's a pretty big counter. If you do obviously fight Spirit Dive YUNO, then just simply take multiple units that do have silence. Okay, so same thing. We'll go ahead and apply the invincibility on Mimosa, and then okay, we don't really need to do anything here. So I'm purposely not going to attack Witch Queen, and I'm going to let him get into anti-magic state, and then you guys are going to see like how their team just completely hard counters us. Actually, I think we're dead. Oh, this is fantastic, actually. This is good because my whole team is pretty much dead. Or close. Wow. You did like 0 damage. Holy crap. Okay, so we'll go ahead and prog out the ultimate, kind of get our damage building up, 42,000, not bad. I believe we are at, let's see, we are only at, yeah, we're at 1 stack of this too. So 4 more rotations, then we get this off, which by then is like, can be scary because our team should be theoretically dead at that point, right? Because that's like a hella turns that pass by. Skill 2 damage, let's see it. 145, not too bad at all. I will take that. And then we can't prog off for combined attack, which sucks here. Also should be an anti-magic, or never mind because it heals. 30,000, wow. Okay. So we'll go ahead and start wearing down Witch Queen if we can. If we get rid of her, then we pretty much win the match. Actually, I think we're dead. Wow, okay. So chill. Wow, we are 1 HP. Okay, so now we take 0 damage courtesy of the ultimate, and then we can res 81,000. It's pretty good damage. I'll take that. I am in a bit of a pickle, so I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of get the heals to, you know, oh, that's actually such a waste because I can't heal. I completely forgot. Okay, so the barrier's into play. Legit, I need to prog up my skill too. If we don't kill, then we lose. I can't even. So this has to kill Asta, because if it doesn't, then pretty much we die. Barrier wise, how long do we have it on for 2 more turns actually, so I think we're okay. So let's go ahead and get rid of Noelle. Damage wise, 76,000, not bad. We have our ultimate next turn, which is good. So now we give ourselves invincibility once again. We'll go ahead and ult Witch Queen. If we kill her, fantastic. 171, great. Black Asta versus the Spirit Dive. You know who is going to win here. I have to win here. If I do not kill Asta, I lose 1000%. So let's kind of see this. If we can, this is going to be the make it or break it. Do we win? No, we don't. GG's. Yep, and we lost. So see, when it comes to stuff like that, most of the times you will end up losing, just because, again, the invincibility is only on for 1 turn in comparison to 2. I feel like if it was on for 2 turns, it would have been too broken, but I kind of understand why. But I feel like that's something he needs, because he doesn't have a lot of protection that allows him to stay on the field and just have that crazy damage, which he desperately needs. So anyways, that's Spirit Dive YUNO though. If you do want a PvE showcase, let me know. Get this video to, I don't know, I'm not gonna set a like goal, but just go crazy with the likes, and maybe I'll do a part 2 for Spirit Dive if you guys are interested in seeing that. But yeah, that is Spirit Dive YUNO in its entirety when it comes to PvP wise. Again, not a bad unit. Not a bad unit. Like if he was a general pool unit or a seasonal unit, this unit would have been top tier for sure. He still is, but for him being a festival, very, very lackluster in comparison to obviously this monster, and you know, Julius Horsey, this monster, right? He's definitely the worst out of the 4. And I feel very, very confident in saying that. So I'll go ahead and end it there. Let me know your thoughts, and yeah, take care. Peace.